Hi everyone, welcome back to my series on making Riku from 10-2 while I just chat with you. It's like a vlog, cosplay series. My name is Jahara, and if you like cosplay and just want to know what it's like to be like a full-time cosplayer, content creator, what my daily life is like, then subscribe, come chill out. That sounded really professional. Anyway, I'm actually going to paint Riku's boots. So I actually love her boots. They're a little bit different from cowgirl boots, but I really like how the cowgirl look is. Accuracy isn't the name of my game. It's just the overall look. And I am going to paint these. It's really, really bright. So I don't know if it's showing up properly on camera, but we are gonna paint from this seam at the bottom here to this seam at the top here and going over the top of the seam. Wow, it's really blowing out. But as I start to paint it, you'll see. And so just to get started, let me figure out some questions on Twitter that y'all have asked. I just wanna see what sort of questions y'all are asking. I saw a really good question, but my friend, Curious Joy, so I'm going to start with that one. And Curious Joy asks, how was it transitioning from store-bought cosplays to making them yourself? What are the pros and cons? Since you are new to sewing when you started making your own cosplays, any tips for newbies? Ooh, okay, Joy. Okay, Joy. These are the paints we're using. These are just like standard acrylic paints. I actually picked the color based off of the head wrap that I'm gonna use for Riku, which is this gorgeous fabric. Look at it. Look at it. I know it's a little bit different. I know Riku's doesn't have pattern. I don't care. My Riku will have pattern, right? So we're doing this. So I picked kind of like some blues that I felt matched with that well, because her headpiece and her shoes are both blue, so those need to match. I put both of them on this plastic plate here, and I think I like the darker one for more. So I am gonna go with the darker blue, and we're gonna start there. I also have a white if I wanna mix it in, but I don't think I'm gonna need to do that. So what was it like transitioning? I still do both, to be clear. I don't know if a lot of people even know that I do both. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold your breath with me. Hold your breath with me. Even though I know what I'm doing, I always feel like I don't know what I'm doing. In the first like part of going to paint something is terrifying. I'm telling you, it's terrifying. Okay. Yeah, it's begun. The key to this is you're just gonna have to be really, really patient and trust the process, because this is going to look absolutely horrific for the first few coats. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so I do both. I very much enjoy both purchasing and making cosplays. And to be honest with you, where I can purchase, I will do that. Where I can purchase, I will do that. The issue that I run into is that I am a perfectionist and I'm very hard to please. So it's kind of hard sometimes to find, if I can't find a version of a cosplay that is sold that I just like, then I'm not going to buy it. And I'm going to make it if I can, or I'm not going to cosplay it. So that's kind of been the thing. I would say like what has been like the biggest like change in terms of like what that's like for me is that I've become even pickier on like what costumes I will buy and like what that quality is like. So like before I cosplayed, I could probably buy something from like Party City and be like genuinely pretty happy with it. But now I am a fabric snob. I don't know how to say that. I care about the fabric. I care about how it lays. I care about the seams and how well that they're done. And it's really hard to find a cosplay that is sold that I don't nitpick at. That being said, like I'm not always trying to do a cosplay for it to look perfect. If I really feel like I want it to look perfect, I will attempt to make it myself. Not because I can make it perfectly, but because I'm going to put a lot more care into it. The thing about that though is, almost 100% of the time, if I make a cosplay, it's going to be more expensive than if I bought it. Just absolutely no cap there. If I make it, it will be more expensive than any version of it I could have purchased, because I always pick really expensive fabrics, and I like to add like lots and lots of accessories and stuff like that. And I don't feel like it's more expensive when I'm starting the project, but I feel like the cost kind of adds up over time, and then like boo, towards the end I'm like, whoa, I think I spent kind of a lot of money on this. So it always just ends up like that. I always feel like I could like maybe make it work. Okay, I have like this little corner. You know, it would really help. It would really help me if I stopped pretending that I don't wear glasses. I'll be right back. Boom. If I stop pretending that I don't wear glasses, then I could see a little bit better. Any tips for newbies into like sewing? Oh my gosh, this looks so freaking terrifying. Okay, so any tips for newbies? YouTube is your best friend, and take your time. People are like, how did you learn how to sew? Myself, and also asking friends tips. And by tips, like a lot of times when you don't know something, like you don't know what you don't know, right? Like you just don't know what you don't know. So it's not like, hey, can you give me tips about this particular thing? It's more like, for example, when I got to a part of a pattern that required me to do sleeves, and I just simply did not understand the instructions and like what the picture diagrams are trying to tell me, I just FaceTimed my friend and was like, help me. What is it trying to tell me to do? What is it asking me? And like she like walked me through it. And so like you can just like do things at a little bit at a time. Also, it's totally okay to mess up. It's totally okay to mess up. And you might cry. You might cry a little bit while you're learning, and that's okay. You're still a boss. Bosses can cry too. Listen. Bosses can cry too, and I want you to understand that because I've cried. I cried like 2 days ago while making something because I sewed the lining on backwards, and I didn't realize until I had put the entire thing on. But yeah, I would definitely recommend that you look up videos on YouTube that start out with like super sewing basics. And I actually had a really hard time finding that sort of thing. But until I came across a channel or a video that was like sewing for dummies. And I knew that this video was absolutely perfect for me when I first started watching it, because the first thing she said was, okay, this is how you plug in your sewing machine. And I was like, I'm in the right place. She understands that I literally don't know anything. Because like other videos, sometimes like they kind of assume you have a base level of knowledge that I just simply did not have, you know, like different like things. And I'm still learning. I kind of learn as I go per project, essentially. I learn as I go each project. So if the project has sleeves, I learn how to do sleeves. If the project has darts, I learn how to do darts. If the project has pants, I learn how to do pants. You know, like just like, rather than trying to teach yourself everything at once, you know, just teach yourself the stuff that you need as you go. And I think that it will save you a ton of sanity and pressure of trying to learn everything all at the same time. Okay, so confession time. I've only painted shoes one time. It turned out really good. But it's still a really scary process because of the fact that like it's gonna look super crazy and uneven when you first start. And I'm telling this to you as much as I am telling it to myself right now to reassure myself, like, look, you see what I mean? Okay, yeah. Luckily, I don't think this will take too long. Famous last words. All right, new question. What is your favorite part of the cosplay process? Like the construction, the planning, the wig, etc. It's definitely the planning. It's definitely the planning. Like I laugh because I think I like planning cosplay more than I like executing it. Just like thinking about the cosplay, planning it in my head, like buying the supplies for it even. I love going to the shop and like going through all of the different fabric options and like comparing pictures and like figuring it out what it is I want to do more than I even like actually making it. I actually think that for somebody that has chosen a profession that requires me to sew quite a bit, that I actually don't like sewing kind of at all. Like the sewing process is probably my least favorite of what I do. I'm just like not excited to sew. I'm excited for it to be done, but like the sewing process is always pretty tedious and repetitive. And it's also where like you can make mistakes, you know? So like that's a little bit scary too. That's a little bit scary. So I think that I like the planning process. I also like how it turns out in the end. Obviously, I love the photo shoot process that I do with my husband. We have like a whole photo setup here at the house where we take photos in our backyard, but we also recently built a photo setup like in a portion of our living room. So it's like a little studio. And we just really love the whole process of taking pictures. Like more than video, I just really love taking pictures and like all of the cool edits that you can do to the pictures and like the lighting. Like I just have like such a passion for like that once it's done, and like how you can really like, I understand that like people don't really know me as a person from my pictures because like I like to embody the character if I can and stuff like that. And like I do want people to know me more, which is why I'm sitting here like doing this video and chatting with y'all. But like that really feels like I got to become the character, you know? It makes like all of the effort, all of the tedium of sewing and the mistakes and everything just so much more worth it in the end. Let's see, what other questions do y'all have for me? Y'all are coming up with some good questions. These are good. Thank you. Some people have asked, a few of you have asked how I plan to do her hair. I'm actually not entirely sure yet. I know that I said that in the last video that I kind of start with the hair, but like it's more of like a concept. Like I look at it and I'm like, do I think I can figure that out? And if I'm like, yeah, I can, then I'll like go from there. But I'm thinking I'm actually going to do curly hair Riku. Like I think that's kind of like where I'm gonna start, is I'm going to do her like ponytail the way she's got it, but instead of straight spiky hair, it's going to be like big voluminous curly hair. I just feel like that suits me a little bit more, and I like to reimagine these characters as if they were me a lot of the time. So I will do whatever it takes to make adjustments to their design to suit me, my skin tone, and my face a little bit better whenever I'm doing them. I don't know if that's something y'all have noticed, but that's something like I'm really passionate about. So for Riku's hair, I kind of plan on doing like a big curly pony and then adding in a bunch of braids, the ones that she has, that are beaded. So she has like a few beads, like some pink and blue beads and stuff like that. But I think I'm gonna like go all out and like add like quite a bit of beading to her hair. I have a lot of different like hair accessories for braids. So I think I'm gonna do that. Maybe get some more that are like a bit more colorful and fun, because the ones I have now are kind of like gold and like serious and like sophisticated. So I need some that are a little bit more like childish and colorful. But yeah, that's kind of how I plan to do her hair. I already showed you the wrap that I'm going to use, and I think that that's going to turn out really pretty. I'm excited for that overall look for sure. Like, her hair is one of the reasons I wanted to do this cosplay, and I just think it's going to be such a cute look. So cute. I'm going to have to take some time to kind of like map it out and figure out what. I'm also not sure if I'm going to do her hair blonde or black. I think that Riku's outfit is iconic enough that you'll know who she is without her hair being blonde. So like, don't come for me don't come for me in the comments. Like if y'all like the kind of cosplays I do, you know that I change the color hair of characters, and I think I might do black hair. Ooh, okay, so this is about a pirate coat that I recently made. I'll put that on screen if editing me is feeling generous. But what was the inspiration for the pirate coat the other day you do? And do you have a place to go for those kind of fabrics? Okay, so this answer might be kind of boring, but I don't know if y'all know, but Joann's, which is where I get a lot of my patterns and fabrics and supplies. If you're in the States, we go to Joann's. And Joann's occasionally has sales on their patterns. So if you're new to sewing and you don't know what a pattern is, it's basically think of it like a baking recipe. Where, like, you know, if you want to make a chocolate cake, you go and you buy a box for a chocolate cake or get a recipe, and it says if you follow these instructions with these ingredients and you do it right, you should get a chocolate cake. That's what a pattern is. A pattern is like, it has a picture of a garment, like a dress or a skirt or a shirt or pants, and you're like, okay, sorry if I'm hitting my mic. You're like, okay, I want to make that, and they're like, cool. If you want to make that, here are the puzzle pieces. So it'll give you like literally like a pattern to trace out onto your fabric. It'll give you fabric recommendations, and then it'll give you instructions to follow for how to put everything together and sew it together into the garment that you see displayed on the front. They really vary. They can be anywhere from like $10 to like $25, right? For a pattern. But occasionally Joann's will have a sale where a certain brand of patterns will be on sale for like $1, for like $1.99 each. And when I tell you, I roll up into Joann's like with like money sunglasses and a notebook. Like I will just roll up in there and just start buying patterns, because it saves me so much money to do that. Because like instead of buying one pattern that's 15 or 18 bucks on like any other given day, if I just go when they have a sale and buy 30 patterns, or like, you know, like $30 worth of patterns all on that day, and come out with like freaking 15 patterns, then that I can use at a later date, then awesome. So the coat was actually a pattern that I had gotten during one of those sales. So I had just come across it, thought it was a really pretty pattern, and so I put it in my pile of patterns that I should buy because I might use this later somehow, right? So that is what I did. And then as far as the fabric goes, I actually found that fabric. That fabric is from Yaya Han's Cosplay line. If you're unfamiliar with Yaya Han, she is a well-renowned, world-renowned even, cosplayer. Amazing, so talented. Who came out with a line of fabrics and other cosplay materials, including like EVA foam, decals, and things like that. And they sell them at Joann's. They sell these beauties at Joann's. And a lot of them are really nice because she makes a lot of stuff that has stretch, because a lot of cosplay costumes require fabric that has stretch in it. But her line has like patterns that you normally wouldn't find with like stretch. It's really, really awesome. Now, one of those patterns that she had, or one of those fabrics that she had, was this brocade fabric that I got that I used for my pirate coat. And when I decided that I would like go home and find one of my patterns that I could make with it. Essentially, I was just like, I will go home, I will look in my pattern stash and see if there's something that I think looks nice with it. And I found that pattern for the pirate coat with the brocade, and I actually had a picture of a brocade fabric pirate coat on there. And I was like, I actually have this beautiful brocade fabric now, thanks to Yaya Han. And it's absolutely stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think I'm going to try it. And the Ren Fair is in town right now. And they have a pirate themed weekend. Okay, so this is what that looks like right now, all the way around. So the back looks like that. The side looks like that. And the front looks like that. I know it's an absolute mess right now, but you have to trust the process. You have to trust me. So like, these are the two. This is also coming off a lot more navy, but there is a lot of navy on the inside here, and then there's some teal. So we're going off of the navy color, and I like it. It's gonna be a lot darker when it finishes, but you need to let the coats dry in between. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside, take a little bit of a break, and come back and answer some more questions while I paint the second one.